Today I'm going to show you how to make the easiest molds ever. The molds that are used to make Venetian masks. Plus 4 mold making tricks. Let's go to the studio. Look at these.
Me gusta cuando lo mueve, se prende todo el baile y le compra lo que quiere. Botella por aquí, botella por allá. Ese cuerpo tiene a todos a punto de bailar.
So I'm going to show you a little trick on how to pull a plasticine piece from a mold, or a wax piece if you want. And these are my mask molds. So now it's just the decision about which mold I'm going to use to show you. I love this optical illusion that the mold makes. The mold release for this process is talc. And the idea is to show you how to make a plasticine piece using a plaster mold. And then with that plasticine piece, you can fix it, you can change it, you can do all kinds of things and then make another mold. I warmed up this plasticine in the sun. And once it was well pushed into the mold, I put it in the fridge overnight. Almost no piece comes perfectly out of the mold, but you can get rid of the talc by using a little mineral oil. I could have used a brush on that talc. Here I'm just flattening the bottom and the top so that it'll make it easier for me to cut the piece off of the plasticine and make a mold of it. And I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes, so I'm not going to go in and fix up that face before I make this mold. Using the mold walls can be a little tricky. So here it is from another angle, and you can see how the mold walls have a bend in them, which I use to clamp. The next step is to roll out coils and fill all the cracks, because the plaster, once it's mixed, loves to go through any little crack, just like water would. I realized that I hadn't stuck it down very well, so I'm using some soft plasticine here to stick it down to the board. And once it's completely ready, I'm going to use Vaseline and baby oil as a mold release. Now it's time to collect everything to mix the plaster. And that includes a brush, the plaster, some water, a bowl to mix everything in, and a way to clean things up. We have guppies in the water in the utility sink. I had to try a couple of times to get the water without fish. Make sure that you don't clean up the plaster in your sink. Otherwise, it'll get stuck in your pipes. I wanted to show you in real time how long it actually takes for the water to absorb into the dry plaster, because it takes between 2 and 4 minutes generally. This is a small batch of plaster, so maybe it won't take quite that long. Here you can see that the air bubbles are coming out, that the white plaster is disappearing, and we want to see that whole little bit of white plaster disappear before we start mixing. I see that there's a ring of water all the way around the outside of the bowl. I could have used a little more plaster powder. I don't really like it that this plaster is gray. What it means is that the plaster has been adulterated with some kind of earth or mineral or something. If the plaster is white, then it will dry and cure really, really nice and hard. I'm sorry that I covered the mold with the plaster mixing bucket, but what I'm doing here is using the brush to get the bubbles out of the mold. I didn't want to bore you with the cleaning, but I do clean everything up right away so that it doesn't get hard and stick. So that's it. That's the mold. And I can get in there and clean it up a little bit. Next week, I'll show you how to make a piece with that mold.